Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. No one likes to be called an ungrateful employee. Let's see what happens. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You will work 9 to 5 so we can watch you. So at my first job, I enjoyed the flexible work schedule, but because I was bored out of my mind, I would do non-work things during work like everyone else in the department. I was singled out together with one other coworker and got told to work 9 to 5 instead of 8 to 4 as I did before. And boy, we did. We would show up no later than 9 o'clock even if we got there early and would drop whatever we were doing at 5 p.m. exactly. This included walking out of meetings and straight up missing them. We knew we were being watched for non-work activities, so whenever there was nothing to do, we started watching others for non-work activities, collecting evidence, and reporting them. Soon enough, it became obvious that they were targeting us because the others had friends in high places and didn't get in trouble for the same stuff. So we took it a step further and did exactly what our tasks described, but at a snail's pace so as to never not be working. They then threatened to fire us because our productivity was down and we were disrespectful, leaving meetings, snitching on people. We pointed them to the fact that we were just doing as they said, and they struggled to dispute it. The 9 to 5 was lifted, though I'm pretty sure the watching wasn't. I then managed to make sure I was essential to keep things running smoothly in my team, and then quit with enough paid time off left to just peace out. It felt glorious. Edit. The reason I was doing non-work things was because I was bored out of my mind. I'd asked multiple times for more work, suggested stuff to do, but got nothing. Also, I'm human. Nobody focuses for 8 hours. I had many coworkers who did way less in a day. I was actually one of the people who focused the most, but had just not tried to be friends with the people in high places. And our second story. Then it all went quiet. Back in my university days, we had a long summer holiday, and in the UK, most students got a job to top up their bank accounts for the next year studying. At the end of my second year studying chemistry, I got a job as a quality controller in a food factory. Now, the one thing I really learned from that job was the foods to avoid. Did you know one of the ingredients in canned tomato soup is concentrated hydrochloric acid? Anyhow, I was significantly more qualified in chemistry than the quality supervisor, and after I pointed out some problems in the way they were carrying out some of the tests in the lab, I was put into the cannery, where I was told to check the seams on the cans after they were lidded, the vacuum in cans after they were lidded, and also that the check weigher was working correctly. It was the check weigher where things got interesting. If the volume of products in each can was too high, then the cans could burst during cooking. If it was too low, then the company could be fined for underweight products. I was shown how to check and also adjust the volumes going into each can. It really wasn't difficult. One day I was watching the production and canning of chicken soup and noticed the line was running just a little light, not below, but just on the lower compliance level, so it adjusted the machine to add just a little more soup to the cans. This brought it up to almost the exact weight we expected per can. Things ran really smoothly from that point onwards until we got to the end of the run. There was a flurry of activity in the cannery supervisor's office and much pointing at paperwork. It seems the cannery had produced around 100 cans less than was expected from the run. Cue the investigation. Turns out that by stopping the line running light and adhering to the can labeling on the weight inside the can, I'd cost them 100 cans of soup. I was told under no circumstances should I make any adjustments to any production line, and I must find a supervisor. Fine. I was only there as a temp after all. Everything was good for a week or so, and then came the mushroom soup run. Once again, the line was running as close to the minimum as they could, and then I noticed cans coming through the check weight underweight. I told the guy running the line, and he just said, "Adjust it then." This is where MC came in. No, I can't adjust it, but also as I'm responsible for quality control, I can't let this run underweight. Cue pressing the big red button stopping the canning line. Canneries are noisy places. There are conveyors running all the time, cans clattering against each other, and then into the retort baskets they're cooked in at the end. All of this stopped, and I had the entire room standing wondering what to do. I asked on the line staff to go and find a supervisor to make the adjustments, and I waited. We waited for almost an hour to find someone, by which time the soup that needed to be canned had gotten cold and couldn't be pumped through the canning machines and had to be dumped. The supervisor arrived, went ballistic, dragging me into the factory manager's office. He told the story of the lost 100 cans and how I'd now cost them a whole batch of mushroom soup. The manager started shouting at me and then came out with a gem of a statement. "I can't see you having a career in this industry. You need to think about your options." My response was quite blunt, I'm afraid. Clearly, your margins are dependent on being as close to a can of soup being underweight as possible. I understand that and sought only to protect you from possible litigation under consumer legislation. I was told I was not to do that and find a supervisor to make any changes. In the absence of this chap for over an hour, I was faced with two options: either halt production or allow underweight cans to leave the cannery. My career options are not guided by my temporary summer holiday job, and I aspire to something more fulfilling. As I will be returning to university in a few weeks, I'm going to get changed and you can sort out someone else to check your cannery production. Bye. And our last story. Promote me and lower my payment? Enjoy having your business closed. A little backstory. I work with social media advertisement, SMA, and at least in my country, it's a rather casual and informal field with a lot of verbal contracts and clients that think that what you do is more of a hobby and don't take your skills too seriously. That said, it's stated by law that if you want to have one intern, you need to have one graduated worker to supervise them. If you want to have two interns, you need at least 6 graduated workers. This is necessary so companies don't pack their staff with underpaid and unprepared workers just to have higher margins. Anyway, on to the story. This happened in early 2015. I just started the final year of the advertising college when I was offered an intern job at this company. Let's call them CIB. They were a mixed company with programming and SMA. There were 3 partners that owned the company. They were all very friendly people despite clearly not being outstanding professionals or great tutors. I took the job and started working 4 hours a day. The max an intern can do is 6. I had no contract or anything, but I didn't think it was a big deal because it's rather common. I worked with a graphic designer and a writer, all interns, who were amazing people and are my friends to this day. The work there is very fun. It's a very friendly working environment and we all became good friends, including my bosses, but we noticed we were not doing intern jobs. We were doing full-time graduated worker jobs, and also there was almost no mentoring, supervision, and we kind of made the things in our way since we were mostly better professionals than our bosses. Months go by and the company starts to grow. After 6 months, the team had doubled, now having 6 workers in total. I need to add they were all students and none of them were graduated. I got higher in the hierarchy of the company, even interviewing the new interns for their new jobs and deciding who we were going to hire. It was the first time I felt that I might have a chance to grow in a company, so I didn't realize I was severely underpaid for what I was doing since I loved my job and it was such fun to work there. By the end of 2015, we were 8 workers total. Reminder, all interns with no contract or taxes in our payment. My boss called me and my friend, let's call him LM, to a meeting and told us that we would be promoted. We were so happy. It was the first promotion of our lives. Finally, we would have the authority to make things the way we wanted and also be paid better. Oh, how wrong we were. We were so excited that we didn't even talk about money on that meeting. Turns out they were going to make us work a full 8-hour day, double what we worked before. Nice, more time to do stuff we love. But our payment was only going to be raised by 75%. So in practice, our hourly payment decreased. I was confused and asked about it, to which he replied, "Have an open mind. We're giving you a chance to grow with the company." I was not happy, but I had no immediate option, so I decided to stay. With this situation, the company started to go south. Since all other interns were PO'd with our situation, some of them quit, others got fired and replaced. The boss started accusing us of intentionally sabotaging the company, but the truth is that there was just no more mood for good working environment. Eventually, my friend quit, and so did I. When they paid us, our bosses said that we missed the chances of our lives and that we would struggle to get a new job. It's a small town, so basically he was saying he would be talking trash behind our back. Bad mistake. I began to plan my revenge. Since it was an intern job, all the time I worked there counted as extra class, and helped me graduate a little faster. Asked them for a signed document stating how long I worked there and how many hours per day. They obviously couldn't say I worked 8 hours because that was illegal. So the document said I worked 4 and 6 hours at different times. As soon as I have this document, I call my lawyer friend and ask him if we have enough to file a suit, to which he responded, "Bro, with this document, we have their butts." So I then file a huge lawsuit claiming I worked as an intern doing full-time job, illegal, without being paid accordingly, also illegal, that I had no supervision, also illegal, and that none of my hours were registered with the college, very much illegal. Some of my friends were still working with the company when the subpoena arrived, so they told me what happened next. The lawsuit hit CIB like a effing czar bomba. They started yelling at each other, trying to escape any guilt and saying, "This is what happens when you give opportunity to people." But my revenge was not over. I also made a complaint to the Labor Department, stating that a lot of interns were working unsupervised at CIB. They got visited by an officer and got a huge fine. After that, the bosses sent everyone to work from home, and CIB no longer existed officially. No more Facebook, Instagram, website, or any way to say that the company was still running. The day of the trial arrived, and I had 2 witnesses with me, older coworkers that got fired. The trial begins, and I start telling the judge every detail of the illegal operation they were running. My old boss responds saying I was lying, that I never worked there for more than 4 hours a day, and that I always was supervised. The judge just couldn't believe what my boss was saying. She, the judge, just lifted a paper and says, "Well, in this paper that you signed, it says that he worked 4 hours per day and then 6 hours per day. Is that a lie?" My boss's face turned pale, and then he didn't say anything for the rest of the trial. His lawyer was almost crying in desperation. The judge even said the witnesses were not necessary for her to make her decision. Results of the vengeance: I got 15 months worth of salary, and the company was ordered to be shut down immediately. All my friends got similar deals, and 2 of my bosses moved to different cities because no company was willing to work with them anymore. The other boss just opened a smartphone fix shop and never worked with anything similar ever again. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.